if you know what your probability of success is, things are not so bad. So I'll give you as an example, in Manhattan, south of 96th Street, there's 27,649 buildings. And the average turnover of that stock in the average year over the past 40 years is 2.6%. If you figure on average, half the stuff that goes on the market actually trades, that means 5% of the stock is on the market. And that means only 1 out of 20 people are going to want to do something. So you have to have the mentality that, hey, I'm making my calls. If I get hung up on 19 times in a row, I should be feeling great because the probability the next call is going to be a good one is very, very high. And I think that's the mentality you have to have.
When you are cold calling in New York City and you're calling a big dog who owns a big property, how do you get over being intimidated by any individual?
Oh, gosh, I got over that a long, long time ago. And, fortunately, you have to have very thick skin in any sales business, and every sales business is the same. I think that the probability of success is different industry by industry, but if you know what your probability of success is, then things are not so bad. You have to have the mentality that, hey, I'm making my calls. If I get hung up on 19 times in a row, I should be feeling great because the probability the next call is going to be a good one is very, very high. And I think that's the mentality you have to have. Also, I think what takes away a little of the maybe feeling of being intimidated is having something of real value to offer that person. If you're aware of a market trend or a recent transaction or a recent legislative change that may add value to that particular owner's property, they'll want to hear that. So you should feel confident that you're calling them up, offering them something of value, something that they'll be interested in hearing about, and they'll want to talk to you. And that's, we want to call people that want to talk to us. So you have to call with something of value to offer them. And then you should look forward to making the call, not be intimidated about making the call.
I love that. I'm going to put that in my cup of coffee tomorrow morning when I get back and hit the streets. So tell me, looking back over your career, what is one deal that taught you the most, whether it was a success or a failure?
Yeah, well, Aviva, I will tell you unequivocally, I have learned so much more from the failures than from the successes. When you have successful deals, you may encounter new techniques, new strategies, new tactics, new things people say, or ways to get around certain impasses. And you have a successful resolution and then you pop it in your brain and you remember it. And then the next time that situation comes up, you can use it again. But the best learning experiences I've had are from the failures, from the deals you didn't get, or the deals you did get but you didn't sell. And why didn't they sell? Often it's because the seller just is not realistic on price, but sometimes it's about something about the property, about the way the negotiation went, or about the capital stack, or something that you can learn from. And I tell you, one of the things that really has served me well over the years is every time I pitch business and don't get it, which is often. I've only, outside of the recent success in the map room, I've won 26% of my pitches over the 40 years. So 74% of the time I'm losing. But every time I will call the seller, and I usually wait 2 or 3 weeks, but I'll call the client, the potential client, and say, hey, you didn't give me the assignment, you hired X, Y, and Z, but what could I have done differently? What did I say that made sense to you? What did I say didn't make sense to you? Was it my approach, my valuation? Did you not like the color of my tie? To whatever it is, please tell me. I really would appreciate it if you could give me feedback. And sometimes you're kind of surprised by what they say. But I think those are the moments that I think every time someone has given me some really good critical input on why they didn't hire me, that sticks with me. And I will, hopefully never make that kind of mistake again, or, treat the next assignment a little bit differently. And those are the best learning opportunities, is when you don't win. So often I think it's human nature to say, oh, that person didn't like me or didn't like my pitch. Oh, forget about them. Let me just go on to the next one. But that person has some golden nuggets in their brain that they can share with you that are going to help you very, very much. So really incumbent upon you to call them up and go over with them why you didn't get it. And hopefully you don't make that mistake again.
That's brilliant. I love it. So if you were starting today as a commercial real estate broker in 2024, what is one piece of advice you would give your younger self?
Right. Well, I will tell you that there are 3 traits that I see consistently in top producers. Number 1 is expertise. You have to be the go-to person. You have to be the one that when somebody thinks about that type of transaction, they think of you. Picking a niche, a very narrow niche, as narrow as possible, so that you can really be a true expert. And I call it getting real estate under your fingernails. You want to know everything about that particular thing. And small enough so you can know everything about it, but big enough that you can make a great living doing it. You could be the greatest expert in one building, but you can't make a living in one building. So it has to be big enough so you can make a great living. So that expertise, number 1. Number 2, you have to have passion. When I talk to a lot of young kids, college kids, and, mentor some students to Wharton School where I went to school, and I tell them all, look, you're interested in real estate. What does that mean? There are hundreds of different jobs you could have in real estate. What should you do? Well, what do you like? Don't say, how can I make the most money? Because if you're in any type of business, if you get to the top of anything in business, you're going to make a lot of money. So in order to get to the top, you have to love it. And why do you have to love it? Because look at the real estate market. The real estate market is cyclical. It always has been, it is, and it always will be. And no matter how good you are, you're going to have tough times. It's the love of the business that keeps you going, keeps you hanging around for those better times that will inevitably come. So I think you have to love it, understand as a young person, take a look at the whole field of everything involved in real estate. Do you want to be a broker? You want to be a developer? You want to be an investor? You want to work at a REIT? You want to be an analyst? What do you want to do? Pick the field that you really, really love. That'll make you want to get up. Your alarm clock goes off. Forget about hitting the snooze. Get up, get showered, get dressed, get to the gym, go get to the office and do real estate. But even if you wanted to be a broker, what does that mean? Do you want to lease apartments? Do you want to sell condos? Do you want to sell single family homes? Do you want to rent office space, rent stores, get mortgages, raise equity, sell buildings? If you want to sell buildings, what type of buildings do you want to sell? Where do you want to sell them? A million different things you can do. Find what you're passionate about. And then the third trait, which is really, really important, is having the ability to use discipline well. And I say use discipline as opposed to have discipline. We all potentially have the same amount of discipline. We have access to the same amount of discipline. We just all choose to use it differently. And I love the quote from Abraham Lincoln, who said that discipline is choosing between what you want most and what you want now. And so, you have to keep your eye on the big picture, but those are the things I would say, become an expert, pick something to do that you truly, truly love, and then be disciplined about what you do. And if you have those 3 traits, then the success available to you in this business is virtually unlimited.
Bob, thank you so much for being our 100th episode on Commercial Real Estate Secrets. And for everybody listening, we'll see you next week.